right, it's the rundown. Wednesday, November 29th. It's your pal Clem here. And we got a couple Chicago boys. Kind of crazy to say that. Daddy boy Chaps out there in Chi-Town. And he was gracious enough to have newcomer to Chicago, Eddie, on the rundown here today. So good to see my guys here, two of my guys at the company. And we're ready to rock on a full rundown here. And the first story of the day, we're going back to the Windy City. Chicago Blackhawks, I guess, cut Corey Perry, put him on waivers, whatever. Rumors were swirling on Monday that Corey Perry had allegedly slept with Connor Bedard's mom, I believe was kind of the one that was going around. This is how I got the rumor. It was Cyber Monday. Again, go to the Barstool store, pay full price, you know. Some say a full price gift means more than a gift that you got on sale. So go to the Barstool store, get your stuff now. I was in the office, in the New York office, and I just walked by the tank, and the tank had a gleam in his eye. A gleam? Is it a gleam, Chapsy, or gleam?
It's a gleam, yeah.
A gleam in his eye, and he was kind of doing the tank giggle. I'm like, Frank, and he just had a dad joke lined up. He said, Corey Perry was brought in to be a father figure for Connor Bedard, and it sounds like he actually was, and he was just giggling about it. I am not on hockey Twitter, so I didn't see all these rumors. I just got my news from the tank. But Eddie, I mean, I'm sure you've been talking to our boy Chief. He seems to have been riding a roller coaster with just another goddamn Chicago team that's just breaking hearts and driving him crazy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not true. He did not bang Bedard's mom. It's one of those things.
Yet.
Technically, that's true. Technically,
yeah, right.
That is technically true.
Yeah,
it's one of those things now where I wonder how guys like Richard Gere, the gerbil in the ass, and Marilyn Manson, and the losing some ribs to suck his own dick. Like, I really wonder how they would deal with these rumors nowadays. You know, because it seems like you got to refute them like they did yesterday, because they didn't say it in so many words, but they said he was not involved with any player or player's family. So they refuted the claim as well. I don't know what the line is to where you entertain people's bullshit like this, but here we are.
When it's that widespread, though, you gotta. I mean, you gotta. If it's your star player, that's like essentially the LeBron James of hockey could be. You got to protect him. You got to say, look, none of these players are putting their dick into his mama. That's not happening.
But it's widespread because it's salacious. And I don't even know. Do we even know if the LeBron Delonte West rumors were true before?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're true. It's out there.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I got some more defensive here because this is my guy. And, you know, I probably did.
Our guy.
True.
Yeah.
That's right. But I don't know. Blackhawks, like, they try to like let it go away quietly, and then of course this rumor pops up. It's like, oh shit, and then they're running around like fucking Michael Scott, you know, and it's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a tough look. It's a tough look for because now Bedard, everyone's been looking up his mom on the internet for like 48 hours straight now just to kind of see what's going on here. And the LeBron thing, I think I blogged it a million times. Like, I think Delonte West said it wasn't true, but Delonte West is not exactly the most like trustworthy actor in this story, right? He's had a lot of personal struggles. The Cavs never came out and said it wasn't false. So now it almost feels like, or it says it was false. So it feels like that makes it true by not saying
Kind of confirms it, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
it confirms.
Yeah. Chaps, you've been a victim to a ton of internet rumors, some true, some not true. The diarrhea story, you had to kind of just come out and say it was true, and then there's been plenty of others that have been proven or said to be false, right?
Yeah, like a couple years ago, it was around this time. I guess it was more closer to Halloween. People said I fucked weird. Do you remember that?
Yes.
They were like, this guy, he just fucks weird, and they sent me all kinds of positional pictures that they thought I fucked, and I didn't do a single one of those.
Then it was it with Connor Bedard's mom? True or false?
False.
False. See, that's how you make a statement. You let it be known. Ed, you did have a good line about a good call about the Richard Gere thing. Like, just those things. Like, back in the day, those spread without the internet. Those spread, and I don't think like the National Enquirer was slapping Richard Gere and hamsters on the front page. So I have no clue how they traveled through back then, through messenger pigeon or snail mail.
Oh yeah. Manu Raju from CNN would be chasing around Richard Gere, be like, "Your ass, sir, your ass. Was he in your ass? Was the dribble in your ass, sir?"
So yeah, all is I think you had. I guess this thing is like when what's the level of reaches we have to straight up say this does not involve any family members without saying he didn't bang her mom. Also, I was told that the rumors are that the Rangers are signing Corey Perry. So now all moms in the tri-state area are now on high alert because he's apparently a MILF hunter, to quote a great internet celebrity in his own right. So everyone heads on a swivel here in the tri-state area. Moving on to Chapsey's old neck of the woods down in Tejas, Mark Cuban. So I got the alert that Mark Cuban was selling the Dallas Mavericks. I missed that he had quit Shark Tank as well. I think at around the same time. Apparently he's selling the majority stake in the Mavericks for $3.5 billion fucking dollars, but he still owns shares in it and is retaining basketball operations. And then he's also Casino Tycoon's buying it, but then he's also leaving Shark Tank. A lot of people speculating, trying to figure out what's going on if he's running for president. He says he wants to spend time with his family now that his kids are going to college, which seems like a backwards thing to do. You spend time with them when they're growing up, and then when they're in college, you have sex with Connor Bedard's mom and stuff like that, and kind of just live your best life. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Ed. I'm really coming down on Ed with this one here. But anyway, Mark Cuban, Chaps, thoughts on Mark Cuban in general? I just want to hear Chapsy's take on Mark Cuban.
I'm a huge Mark Cuban guy. I love him. I think he's straight down the middle, like calls it like he sees it. And I appreciate kind of like Portnoy, where he has an opinion. He's going to let you know what his opinion is, and the chips fall where they do. I think this is because he has an inkling that there will be legalized gambling in Texas in the next legislative session. Like those happen every 2 years. But if he's going into it with the Sands family, who owns like Sands Casino in Las Vegas and all that stuff, and part of the deal is that they're going to go in on a hotel casino together. You're not allowed to have casinos right now in Texas without them being Native American certified. So if he goes in and he has this casino, they have legalized gambling set up, he's going to make a windfall, and like money wise. And I'm a huge Shark Tank guy, so he said it a bunch of times. I think the number is $400 million that he paid right after he got his first huge investment from PayPal. He bought the Mavs for $400 million. So he's only selling 30% or 35% of his share of it and making $3.5 billion. That means he'll get like 700 or 800% return on investment for something that was $400 million. So his net worth is going to be matched by this sale. He'll double his net worth essentially by doing this sale, retain basketball operations, and then no longer be on Shark Tank, which I've watched every single episode there ever has been of Shark Tank. So I was crushed by that news, Clemmy. Crushed.
Look at Chapsy Windhorse here, giving us the insides of the NBA workings and speculating. Just give us the little finger point, Chaps. Give us the little finger point there.
Not so fast. Why would he do that? Why?
Oh wow! So I've just been like basically given the whole Mark Cuban like story there from Chaps. Ed, I got to hear your take on Cuban now. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
I'm honestly stunned. I'm stunned. I know, like you said, he still has a stake in the team, and he's still going to be running basketball operations. But the Mavs were his identity, So I don't know how much things are going to change, but it's still stunning that he would give up any point of ownership at all. To be honest, I think that's way more stunning than Shark Tank. Shark Tank's like, that I agree with him. Like, how many more? Like, he doesn't want to buy any more people's.
Tread lightly, Ed. What we're not going to do is shit on Shark Tank. That's what we're not going to do.
I love Shark Tank. I think it's one of the best, almost mindless TV programs you could watch. Like, you just flip it on and it's great. It's great all the time. But like, at some point, he's just tired of buying people's fucking log removers, like you don't need it anymore. Like, what does he need this for? So
yeah,
I'm interested in what his next move is. I know he's doing that prescription drug thing where he's making it cheaper and he's looking out for people who need medications. I don't know. Interesting cat. It just seems like he got bored and he's like, I need to do something different and reinvent myself. So there you have it.
I would be super interested to see the back scenes of like what actually he's going to be in control of and what the Sands family is going to be in control of. Because if you don't have control of basketball operation as the owner of a basketball team, what do you really have ownership of? Like the building, like you get the most money coming in from like the TV deals. Like what is there if you don't? That's the reason why you buy a pro team so you can control it. I'd be doing exactly what Tepper in North Carolina is. If I bought a team, I'd fuck it up, no doubt about it, without question.
I saw he's had, I think, 6 coaches in like 5 years with the Panthers. But then I also heard he fired his MLS coach. Then he fired the other one after he made it to the championship game. So I didn't realize he's just an awful owner throughout all sports, this Tepper guy.
Wild card.
Meanwhile, Cuban, he gets to eat off that, again, against LeBron and the Heat, that one title with Dirk. You know, they were known as the chokers when they lost to the Heat, and then they come back and kind of became like icons because the entire country was rooting basically against the Heat in that championship. Yeah, what do you do if I do feel like there's a chance, like, you let someone in the door and get your team, like, he could end up losing that basketball operations, but he probably has lawyers that have it so ironclad, right, that he could never, because that's the one thing I don't think he'd rather die before he loses the chance to do his math shit in terms of player stuff.
I mean, with your kids going in, you could be even more all in with your team. I agree with you, Clem. Your kids going to college is a wild time to say you're gonna spend time with your family.
Yeah, they don't want to spend time with you anymore.
I want to spend more time at home now that they're all out of the house.
Yeah, like they're ready to go hang out with their friends and be dumb college kids. They're not.
Yeah,
like, he could send his private jet and be there every weekend if he wants, but
right,
they don't want you there. That's not how it works.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I have to just say this with Cuban. I sorry if this offends you, chaps. I know he's a great businessman. I'm seeing the numbers here. Bought for 300, got 3.5 billion back. All this kind of stuff. Shark Tank obviously hit show. He could have had 5% of Big Cat's brain for $1 million, and he turned it down. And like at that point, Big Cat wasn't just some schlub off the street. He had, a resume to give, some videos. I think at that point he already saved Detroit with the for ambulance, and he just turned it down flat out for $1 million, which is ashtray money for him. That's an L for Team Cuban, I imagine. But you guys like to look past that?
I think he has 3 big misses, Clem. I think one, you can go with Big Cat, obviously. The second one, we're going to go with the Ring camera. That was presented on Shark Tank, and he said that he didn't think that it would amount to a whole lot, that it kind of felt clunky, so he was out on that one. And then the big one, and Clem, as a Costco guy, you should know this one. How the fuck do you not invest in Scrub Daddy? When you see that go down, you don't invest in Scrub Daddy? That's not a serious person. You see Scrub Daddy, you invest.
You know what? I'm calling it now. He's going to lose that basketball operations within 5 years. Like
Mark Cuban's a bum.
Yeah, he's a paper tiger. A paper tiger.
He's an absolute bum.
One of the greatest porno lines ever. He's a bum. Just an absolute bum.
My new neighbor is an unbelievable bum guy. He just whispers it like we're watching sports. Somebody will throw a pick and it'll be like, bum. Just like real. You can barely hear it. And every time I want to stand up and applaud. The perfect bum delivery.
Is that a Chicago thing, Ed? Because I know that you guys have some listeners and followers here at Barstool who have the Chicago Bums podcast. Is that a big? I feel like that's a big Chicago word, bum.
Yeah, but we say bum for sure.
Yeah,
it was always go pay the bums for beer, get the beer. So it was like, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, I think New York, we used to be a bum. That was actually the Brooklyn Dodgers nicknames were the bums. I feel like we've just devolved into like we just call them homeless or crack addicts or things that they may not even be. Speaking of bums, Deadspin's in trouble right now. Apparently there was a kid that had his face painted, half of it was black. They went on a whole Deadspin hit piece about the kid having blackface, had a Native American headdress on during the Chiefs game. Apparently the other side of his face was red, which is then I guess, obviously could be a Native American thing. The kid is Native American, however. We're dealing with a lot of blackface stuff, red face stuff, colored face stuff. I'm personally not going to make a statement on that stuff. If you guys want, you're more than welcome, and let the editors do what they may here. But Jerry, I saw wrote about it saying the dead and Deadspin's almost here. Like, when can we just blow them over and just topple Deadspin for good and we never have to read about them ever again? That's basically my question to the floor.
I think that kind of has already happened. Right? Like, unless they do something incredibly dumb like this, nope, you don't ever hear from Deadspin or what they're writing about, or I don't know a single person on their staff at this point. Like, there used to be a time where you could identify some of their writers. I don't know who any of the writers are now.
That's a fair point. Ed, what do you think about this whole kerfuffle?
Did you say that it looks like the kid was a part of the Chumash tribe? He's Native American as well?
Yeah, I said he's a Native American.
His grandfather is a part of the leadership. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this kid gets a little big league it, and he gets to take over Deadspin for like a week, or like make all the writers do whatever he wants. So I think that's the way it should go. I think this kid should call his shots, and he should get the keys to Deadspin. I mean, it's a car that you'd probably want to crash off a cliff, but still, you should get the keys for a week at least.
Yeah, I think he'll have a little lawsuit for defamation for sure.
Yeah, and I do think this all leads to the moment that I think we've all thought would, and some wrestling guys here on the podcast. You're gonna go to Deadspin.com and it's gonna just redirect you to Barstool Sports. It's gonna be Portnoy's face. It's gonna be like when Vince McMahon showed up on Nitro and the entire world was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they had Raw Nitro, all owned by Vinnie Mac, and Portnoy's basically the Vinnie Mac of the blog game, right? So Deadspin
ended one of the best, ended the best wrestling organization that there's ever been.
Oh, I could only gonna see little 10-year-old chaps in his trailer home watching, Sting in a arena with 1,000 people. Those were the good old days, right, Chapsy?
Wearing bright pink tights with my hair stuck up like a flat top and doing the stinger splash on my Buddy toy. Nobody knew it hit him.
By the way, chaps, I'm taking some heat because I'm a shave by choice guy. Eddie found this out when I was in San Diego with him. I'm getting a lot of heat from the ball guys being like, "Oh, for shame, you should embrace that hair. I give anything for it." I say bald is beautiful. I make this choice because I think I'm a beautiful bald man, and all men are bald. All bald men are beautiful. As a fellow bald that shaves your head, am I in the wrong here, chaps, or am I crazy?
No, my friend, I think that them coming at you is absolutely bush league. I was disgusted. I had to shut my laptop when I saw some of those things that were flying around at you. I was disgusted by it. I was taken aback. And let me just say this. I want to be on the record here. And I think that this phrase has been thrown around a lot in the last 3 years. But it's your body, your choice. And if you want to be bald, that's your fucking head, Clem. You shave that fucker as much as you want to.
How about the people that straight up thought you were lying? There's a lot of people that think you're a liar, which I was the most stunned by.
How does that look to you, Ed? Does that look good? That looks like a strong hairline. It's over the front, right?
Like, don't get me wrong. Like it would be a little choppy up front, but you could definitely grow it. I sized up your hairline when I was with you in San Diego. It could definitely be done.
And Eddie, let me interject here. Not enough people say that you have great hair.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I need to tighten it up in some spots, but overall, I think it's pretty solid.
Do that. You don't need to self-deprecate. Your hair is fantastic. Just take it as a compliment and let's move on to the next topic.
Exactly. And Eddie shouldn't be wearing hat. He was a big hat guy. That hair should be breathing, Ed. I'll tell you that much. The guy who shaves his own. So who am I to talk? Maybe I should get thrown in the sin bin. That's what soccer is discussing here. They're testing out sin bins, which are penalty boxes during games. I didn't realize this is going all the way up to the Premier League and the leagues that I actually know and care about. If you do a penalty that's bad enough, I guess yellow card, red card, sin bin card, you go in there for 10 minutes and you leave your team shorthanded for the duration of the penalty. Basically a penalty box thing here. Chapsy, you're just you're kind of the sin guy here at Barstool. What are your thoughts on sin bins in soccer?
Does it get rid of the red card, or is it like an in-between yellow and red? Because if you still have the red card, what's the point? I think you should get rid of the red card if that's the case. Right? Like if you have a yellow card and a red card kicks you out. Is it like an orange card, essentially, that they're going to do where it's 10 minutes? If it's either way, I like it. I think having more penalty boxes, it really makes me more interested in the game. But instead of that, in baseball, this is a rule change I would like to see. If you have a divisional opponent, you're allowed to have the manager can walk out to the middle of the field at any point and be like, throw his hand up. And that means that there's going to be a cage fight. They bring out some cages, they put some people in, and each team has to pick somebody that they want to fight. Instead of throwing balls at people's heads and faces and shit like that, it's a lot more dangerous. Just have them square up right there in center field.
I like it, chat. I'm sold. And Manfred's kind of crazy like that. He's crazy like a fox. He might actually take this into consideration. By the way, it looks like it's a yellow card. It's basically the orange card. It's between yellow and red, right? So, okay. I'm with you on that. You have to keep the red card. I think one of the red card is kind of a fun thing in soccer, as at least someone who doesn't give a fuck. Ed, what are your thoughts on all this?
Listen, I'm not a soccer guy, so I'm not going to pretend like I would know the intricacies of how this would work or if it'd be good or bad for the game. However, I am in on gimmicks at this point in sports regular season. Okay. I was listening to Malcolm Gladwell on Bill Simmons' podcast the other day, and he talked about NBA home court should be different. Like, could you imagine if they just eliminated the corners like in a place like Miami, like there was just no corner threes. It was just the court just enclosed, shit like that. Like, could you imagine if I had another one, but I'm blanking, but just random gimmicks would be a blast, just little dumb shit that would just make things more exciting. I'm all for it. Like that Alabama game. Do you remember in Alabama they like lost half their bench because there was a fight, and then a guy fouled out, guy got hurt, and they were playing like 5-on-3. That was electric. Everyone was tuned in. Everyone was going nuts. I get it, people. It'll never happen, and people will cry and moan about how it's a disgrace to the significance of the sport. But these regular seasons they just got to do something for 3 of the 4 major sports. So
make Big Cat the president of FIFA. It'll just be like the producer bowl, just 25-point shots, all kinds of crazy shit.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm all for quirk. That's kind of like baseball. It's quirky, right? Wrigley's so much different than Citi Field, which is different than Yankee Stadium and all the dimensions and stuff. And you build your team around the advantage you have. Again, you wouldn't have to worry about corner threes as much if you just eliminated them from your court. Everyone's like jerking off about the in-season tournament, how great it is. And it's just like their teams are trying. And everyone's like, oh my God, and the courts look funny. So it's like that times a million by doing, different regular season quirks. We did a thing in college. We played this all-time great Nintendo game. Not a lot of people know about it. Joey Langone and Brandon Walker, 2 of the few. It's called Dusty Diamond All-Star Softball. And I was on, I believe it's called, if you hit a home run at the schoolyard, that was one of the home fields. If you hit the window, it's an out. So it'll be a home run, but if it hits a window, it's an out. So maybe you get some windows involved, like the Petco, they have a windows and stuff like that. And then when we went to my home field, which was the island, I had the TV on mute. So you couldn't hear the pop-up going, boo. So you really had no idea where the fuck the pop-up was going, and it made every fucking game that much more electric. So yeah, let's get weird. Let's throw sin bins in every sport. OnlyFans can sponsor. Throw some girls in there. You're gonna get ratings. I think everyone wins in that. Glenny Balls can be on a sideline reporter for this stuff. I think we're cooking right now, boys. We're cooking. The brains are moving. Oh man. And then finally, we're gonna wrap things up with another one of these gimmicks. I love when these stories go viral. Super pigs are threatening to invade the United States. A new species of feral hog are living in Canada and encroaching on the U.S. border, which I feel like they've been doing for a little while now. They've appeared in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. This is, I think Chicago guys might know these locations. I'm a New York guy. I really don't know it. But apparently they're coming down from the border and about to make life a living hell. Chapsy, are you tooled up? Can you fucking take care of these things before they come and, just straight up take over the Chicago office?
I'd absolutely love to, Clem. And as somebody who's spent a summer in Alberta, we're talking about the plain provinces. These are people that are reliant on huge fields of mustard, huge fields of wheat. We got barley and soybeans that are running all through there. You don't want wild hogs coming. This is people's livelihoods. So what I think we need to do, more hog chopping. We absolutely have to go hog chopping. Get the whole crew up there, put us all in little birds, give us some 240 Golfs, and just let us have some lines of lead that we're laying down range. Just take these fuckers out. Simple.
You down, Eddie? You down to shoot some super pigs here?
Yeah, listen, that's part of the trade-off. We live in the fucking cold tundra and we don't have to deal with shit like this. So murder hornets, wild boar pigs, whatever the fuck they're called, I don't want nothing to do with them. If it takes me getting in a helicopter to shoot a couple, I'm in, because I don't want to go in my backyard to start my car one day and I got to fend one of these off with a rake. It's not going to happen.
You guys are basically the wall from Game of Thrones. Like, you guys have to make sure nothing crosses through the icy tundra there and then comes south into the heartland, because then our fucking agriculture is all fucked up. Our mustard seeds are gone. Our corn, our plants, everything else could be gone. So, all right, the boys are, and yeah, the content's going to be good. Big Cat will like you said, the Big Cat brains cooking. He's going to have you guys shooting stuff or using, One Woods golf simulator. You go out and then you go out and you're fucking killing these things with golf balls, whatever it may be. So I guess Barstool's on it. I think we did a Barstool Outdoors video. I feel like there should be one of those like a month at this point. There's so many of these fucking hogs running around, right?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. They're all over the place.
It's a real problem. Eddie, you mentioned them. These super pigs, it reminds me of the murder hornets. Remember, they were the most scariest thing ever. And then I think COVID came and everyone just forgot that there were murder hornets coming and it was all a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I think they were frauds. I think they found out like an easy way to kill them all, and they just attacked the nests and then we took care of them. Like, it was just like we just wiped our hands with them real quick. So hopefully the super pigs is a similar deal.
Yeah, there we go. Just use some Raid on the Nest. That'll get rid of them. After show now, surviving Barstool last night. So anyone who hasn't watched yet, spoiler alert coming up. Episode 2 of season 3. For anyone that doesn't know, Monday through Wednesday, they're going to be releasing these. I believe the next, this week and then the next 2 weeks following. Nate was eliminated last night, and kind of the big moment of the show was Jerry was just walking around, saw game plans on the producer's desk, took them, had them for his team. They kind of knew the challenge going into the challenge, which then caused PFT to grease the board of the opponent team board, which made the duct tape hard to stick on. This probably makes no sense if you didn't watch the show. Trust me, watch it. It's incredible. You have some of the craziest fucks here at Barstool. And then it led to Kirk stealing plans himself and just them screaming, Kirk and Nate yelling at Jeff D. Lowe. An absolute drama-filled episode. And Eddie, fellow challenge guy, we did our no quitters, RIP in peace for a few years. It's Barstool at its absolute zenith this season on Surviving Barstool. Former winner as well.
Yeah, I won season 2. I haven't been able to catch it yet because the Bears played fucking Monday and they threw my whole week off, so I'm behind.
Bums.
But yeah, the worst, literally. But it sounds like a good move. It sounds like a good move. A greased up duct tape wall sounds like a great move.
Chapsy, do you have any? Did you get to see it, or you have any takes on them kind of just greasing everything up and stealing plans and all that kind of stuff?
I love everything that Rico's doing in this challenge. I just do. I mean, taking the toothbrushes and toothpaste is diabolical. You're in this kind of conversation where you're in a team environment. You're talking very close proximity. And if you're a person that thrives in society, you know that people don't want to be up in your shit if your breath is stinking. So whenever you're having these conversations that you need to be dialed in for, and you know that you have breath that smells like thunder, you need to back it up a little bit. I love that move. PFT's fucking brain in one of these challenges with the diabolical nature of Rico together is truly something to behold, because PFT might be one of the smartest people that there is, and figuring out to grease that bad boy up, genius. Just genius.
Absolute genius. And like you said with the toothpaste, you could, like, if it's tie across the board and you don't know who to vote out, it's like, well, that guy has bad breath, that guy doesn't. You're going to vote out the guy with bad breath because you're in close proximities with him. So again, these brains all working. It's amazing to see. Big Cat put his content team together, and they're delivering every single week. Jerry going, the game runs through me. I own the game. Incredible shit. And the big controversy, Ed, is that there were like plans for the games on the producer's desk, but they're also supposed to, as you know, go around the office looking for the idol. If you leave the plans on the desk, I think that's kind of fair game. I can't even get mad at the team, at Jerry, for taking them and sharing them with his team. It also, like, I know people are very upset about it. It does feel very Barstool that we would just leave fucking plans on the desk. And it kind of makes us different than these other shows that we are kind of mimicking or, acting like. I think that makes it the Barstool difference, for lack of a better term. And then Kirk just straight up ripping the plans out of the producers, out of Rob's hands, was an incredible moment as well. And Kirk kept the plans and is like, if you guys vote me off, I'm taking the plans with me, which was an A+ big brain move as well. So this is the reason I tune in to Surviving Barstool instead of all the other reality shows, because it's all like the best stuff from those shows with the sick, twisted brains that we have here in Dave Portnoy's fucking Fun Factory.
I mean, all the contestants on this put the producers' asses in the jackpot in a big way. Their asses are in the jackpot.
And we have Defensive Low, Jeff Defensive Low, going back and forth with Nate. He's telling Nate, get out of here. No one wants you here anyway. Why don't you quit, Nate? So it's the confrontation you get. Usually it's through tweets and stuff. We're getting actual stuff on film. This is game film. It's beautiful stuff. And this is
we always talk about the shows that should be on Netflix. This show should have been bought by Netflix or something like that. Like, because even if you didn't know anything about Barstool and you watched it, you'd be blown away. You'd be absolutely hooked. You put this on TV, people watch it in a second if they don't even know what Barstool is.
People have been saying, like, yeah, like the challenge, but on HBO, so it's no holds barred. You can let the curses fly, all that kind of stuff. that's exactly what we have here. And maybe one day this will turn into the real world on HBO, where it's like, you don't blur out the sex scenes. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, Barstool, in the future, but this does feel like the beginning of something here. Obviously, with the big guns, now it's going to help spread the, the growth of the game. And the wife and I are watching it together. It's our nightly, sit down and watch show together. So check it out. If you
Smitty would have
haven't
been upset if we were on HBO with his dick hanging out in the wind at the Super Bowl house. He would have been upset.
Would have been a problem. Would have been a problem. And as law states here at Barstool, once Smitty's dick comes up, we have to end the rundown. So that was the
Yep.
rundown.
Sorry about that,
See
guys.
you guys tomorrow.